Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a quick hack for making decisions, and we're going to be using human design. So essentially, this is going to show you the way that you were designed to make decisions. Okay, so whether you're like, should I start this relationship? Should I end this relationship? Should I quit my job? Should I start a business? Should I buy this program or car, whatever? This is going to help you figure out how you can come to a place where you are able to make the decision that is right for you. Okay, so I'm looking at right now, this is mybodygraph.com. This is for human design. It's to pull up your human design chart. There are a few different websites you can use. That's just what we're going to use for now. We are looking specifically at your authority. So you can see over here in the chart properties, my authority is splenic. Okay, there are other websites you can use. It might say inner authority. It might look slightly different, but it's always going to have the word authority in it. So most people are solar plexus or emotional authorities. It's about half of the population. For the solar plexus authorities, you are meant to take your time with decisions, right? So that might make things like sales calls and sales processes in general, like you go in to buy a car and you're really like pressured to buy now, right? That's going to make that process a little bit difficult and uncomfortable for you because it's not right for you, okay? So with a solar plexus or emotional authority, you're going to have this feeling in the pit of your stomach. It's part of the sympathetic nervous system. In general, you're going to be constantly writing emotions up and down, right? So you need to take time to think decisions through. I picture it like the decision gets thrown into a pond, right? And there's all these ripples in the water because the rock has like, disturbed the water. And all these ripples come out. Those are the emotions, right? And you have to wait for the ripples to die down and for the water to become clear before you can actually make the decision. So allow your emotions to kind of play out and wait until you are at a place of clarity where you don't feel any nervousness in your body before you make the decision. So essentially, sleep on it, wait for the dust to settle, wait until you don't feel that nervousness in your body. If it's a yes, right? If this is the right thing for you, a yes should be a consistent yes. It's not going to change constantly. It's not going to be like, yeah, oh, maybe not. It's going to be a yes. If it changes constantly, it's a no. Okay. And there's no need for you to explain why it's a no or why, you have these emotions around this decision or the decision making process in general. It's just a no. Okay. So the next one we'll talk about is the sacral or the gut authority. This is about 35% of the population. For the sacral, you don't need to go and get things. Your natural tendency is to kind of wait for things to show up into your auric field so that you can respond. If something is right for you, if it's a yes, you're generally going to have like butterflies in your stomach or this expansive feeling. If it's a no, it's going to feel contracting or almost like a sinking feeling, right? Your body may actually move into action for a yes. So if something is right for you, you may actually like move toward it, right? So you want to listen to the body for a yes or a no. You're also going to get gut feedback like right in the moment, right? So you might have this feeling or guttural sounds like if you agree with something or it's right for you, you might catch yourself going, or if it isn't, right? And if there's no feeling or no response, it's a not sure or a not now. Like take some time away from it and come back later. Now we'll talk about the spleen. This is my authority. So this is about 11% of the population. With a splenic authority, it's going to be an instant intuitive hit, right? It almost feels like impulsive. This is a one-time knowing in the moment. So you have to listen for the immediate response. You're going to know immediately if it's a yes or a no when you ask the question. The response will not come a second time. It happens one time, right? So you have to listen. You have to know that that's what's going to happen. You have to be there to really listen for it. And then if you don't listen to it or, it's not the response you want or whatever, you're kind of waffling with it, you're never going to get that clarity back. Okay. So just try to remember what the initial response was and then go back to that. Now we have a few others. They're much less common. We have one that's called mental. Sometimes it's called environment, or sometimes it's just none, right, for the authority. For this type, you receive guidance from sensory information through your open centers. So if you look at the chart, we have these white centers here. and then the other ones are colored in, right? So the white centers, they're undefined or they're open. That's where you receive energy from the outside. And the defined centers are where you hold and push energy out into the world around you, right? So for the environment type or the mental type, you're going to receive sensory information through those open centers. So being in the right environment for you is really important, especially when it comes to making decisions. You have to be in the right environment where you're kind of like receiving the right energy to be able to get that clarity. Now, for this type and for the last three, you want to speak aloud and bounce your ideas off of other people to gain clarity. So essentially, you want like a sounding board. You want to talk about what's going on and kind of like bounce your ideas off. And then as they kind of come back to you, you're going to have clarity on which decision you want to make, right? So that's about 3.5% of the population. Then we have the identity or self-projected authority. This is about 2.8% of the population. These are deeply non-energetic and very powerful beings. So the ability to listen and hear their own voice, like your voice, your inner knowing, that is key. Their truth is expressed through the core of their identity. That's the G center. And allowing the words to come out unfiltered is key. So just speaking, and just like the mental or the environment authority type, you want to speak your potential decision aloud to be able to hear your truth. You're going to know as you speak it whether it's true or not. And allowing it to come out, really practicing speaking in an unfiltered way, allowing it to just come out without worrying about how it will be received or anything like that. That's really going to allow you to like hear your truth. So as you speak it, it's just, that's what the decision is going to be, right? And you can just kind of hear it resonate. So using a neutral sounding board is key. You don't want to like speak these decisions toward, a person who's going to be judgmental of which decision you're making or whatever. You want it to be neutral. You can also use a recording app on your phone or something like that rather than an actual person, right? Just kind of like record yourself speaking, and that can be your sounding board because it's completely neutral. There's no one to actually respond to it, right? So then we have the lunar cycle. This is about 1.4% of the population. They have a really special connection with the moon. So as the word indicates, lunar cycle, this is going to be a type that before making a decision, you want to wait through the 28 and a half day moon cycle. Okay. So this is going to provide a constant familiar pattern to work with, especially if you get really familiar with the different cycles of the moon and how we kind of can work with that energy. You essentially, for any like big decision, you have to wait that full 28 and a half day cycle and really kind of know how to work with that moon energy so that when it's time to make the decision, right? And then the last one we have is the will or the ego authority. With the will or the ego, you must trust what you say or do spontaneously in the moment. The voice of the ego is going to speak or move the body if you allow it to do so, right? So it's about letting the words come out unfiltered, right? Just with the same with the identity or self-projected authority, really allowing the words to come out unfiltered, not saying what you think you want to say or what you think people want to hear, but just letting the words come out, right? This is where authority has a willpower that is unmistakably engaged or not. It's one or the other, right? So speak your decision aloud to really hear your truth, really kind of like hear it resonate, right? And again, use a neutral person as your sounding board, or, you can use a recording app or something like that. So it's truly, truly neutral. So yeah, this is basically how you're going to use your authority in human design to make decisions or really identify the process that's going to work for you in decision making. So I hope that helps.